How's it going, folks? Ordinary Income back today. Hope you all had a great weekend. It was a long weekend, big holiday weekend, a lot of holidays as well. And we're back to it on a Monday, and we're back to it starting strong as well. Probably got a little bit more dramatic of a photo than I wanted to, but what I want to talk about today to start off the week is the new lockdowns going on in China, in particular 2 years after the pandemic had started. And we're seeing a resurgence, at least reports coming out that there's a resurgence in COVID, and they're doing a lockdown policy to pretty much achieve zero COVID. I think a 0% infection rate. And you've all probably heard the stories. You've seen probably videos of the way the citizens have been being treated, how they're upset, how everyone's inside their home. But in particular, there is an impact on America outside of just the humanitarian one, and a little bit more in depth than what might be being spoken about. In particular, there's been a lot of talk in relation to how the Shanghai ports in particular, and as well as overall locking down China, impacts our own economy, our own consumers and producers. We see with Apple itself, I think, what we notice is that they've also been saying that they're going to have, right here, they're going to have a little bit of trouble meeting their products and the demand for their products. And there's even been parts, a couple journalists have said that I think at this point, factories over there in China, let me see if I can find the article, but I know factories in China are prioritizing now certain companies. They're saying, we don't have enough ability to be able to meet the demand for everyone, so we're going to choose, here we go. The Taiwanese assemblers at least are prioritizing Apple over Tesla here from Business Insider. I'll leave a link to this article as well to show that. But there's been such a constraint because obviously people can't work, and the ones that are working, I think there's a limit to them because of health and safety policies over there. So they've been saying that we have to pretty much determine what company you're going to be working for. Apple and Tesla make different things. One's a car maker, one is more, phone and computer. So deciding to go with the phone and computer route, it's going to piss off a lot of people that are still waiting for their cars, if you are someone who is. But there's been, Apple doesn't mean that they're receiving everything. They're still facing shipments right here, as this article is saying from the Daily Star. I don't usually read their stuff, but I think they're pretty much summarizing a lot of things that other reports have said, that because of this, what they're facing jammed highways over there in China, jammed ports, stranded workers and all that. And Apple is not only reliant on their products, but also their semiconductors out of Asia as well. But in particular, let's take a look that if China is to all of a sudden go through a slowdown in production, what does it mean for the United States? I told you about Apple, I told you about Tesla, even Taiwan, their assemblers are changing. But what is the larger picture here on the consumer side and the producer side? We've always been told that China has a dominant import-export ratio to America. China's exporting a lot, making a lot of money because America pretty much is importing everything from them. And because of this new revolutions, probably you can say Industrial Revolution 2.0 with tech, China has pretty much capitalized the best because the main things that they provide to America are technology-based. Broadcasting equipment, computers, circuits. I know there's going to be semiconductors somewhere, if not from China, then definitely from Taiwan, which is being strangled by China for the most part. And overall, let's see, electrical transformers. It's everything pretty much that the tech world needs in order to survive and pretty much to grow, which is what they're trying to do. When you take a look at who's importing the most, the United States, clear number one of their importers in terms of just countries. Now, continents, it probably looks like it's still Asia, but the United States dominating in terms of the leaderboard of who's getting the most things from China themselves. And the majority is this technology stuff. So when you're saying that these companies like Apple and Tesla are not going to be able to meet demand, in particular because the things that they're reliant on China are the massive things that China exports out to these countries and to these companies, how does it impact the consumers? Well, as we see, the consumers, especially in technology, they're still looking to spend a lot of money. And it could be anything from companies that are trying to expand their tech presence all the way to people like you and me that are looking to buy a new computer or new headphones or anything. Right here from Statista, I think they showed that there's an estimate that it's going to be about $505 billion spent in America alone, or worldwide at least, not America, on technology regarding the consumer route. And that's an estimate. I think the number came in at 491 billion last year, and they're estimating that it's going to go to 505. But there's a chance that there's going to be $500 billion worth of equipment, at least wanted to be purchased within this year. And now there's going to be definitely some equipment that you can't purchase because the main export of this equipment here in China is going to be able to meet demand. So what happens when you can't get all the supply you need? What happens when a company like Apple sees that there's consumers that want to buy their products, but they don't have those products available for them? Well, the first thing is you might be losing business to the people that can provide you those products. Now, because Apple is such a brand loyal company, it's not going to be that people are going to all of a sudden go to Samsung or Google Pixel, but there's a chance that if you're looking for a refrigerator, which do use semiconductors if you're getting the new electronic ones, instead of Kohler, you might be going to whatever Best Buy is offering or kind of settling for something less, thus giving your business to other people. So other companies will be taking a little bit of market share. The most common thing that's probably going to happen is a backlog, that consumers will wait. And if you are a company that, like Apple, you might have a chance to really do some, not so happy things to consumers and raise your prices. If you know that there are a lot of people that want your new iPhone and it's not going to be able to come in time, or you're not going to be able to get as many of those iPhones as you want, then you can't say, listen, we have to raise the prices because we have to meet profit margins and we have to meet them at a lower output than what we've had before. And we know all of you want these things, so we're just going to increase it and be able to meet our profit margins on less volume. And it happened. I don't think they would do that, but it's always a possibility that when you have something with high demand and low supply, the price will usually go up. It's a part of game theory, it's a part of equilibrium, that you're able to do that as long as the demand is there. But the biggest thing is that people will probably be willing and ready to spend their money, but won't have an ability to spend it. There's going to be kind of a lot of consumer paranoia, a lot of consumer frustration that the things they're looking to get won't be ready for them to get. And it could be anything from cars. Technology is going to be the biggest one. So what is reliant on technology? Your cars, your equipment, your any of the home furnishings you have, maybe not furnishings, but home equipment. So it could be toasters, microwaves, all these things that are reliant on them. It's going to be a little tough. So maybe if you're somebody moving and you're looking to get new stuff, it's either going to be more expensive or you're going to have to wait to get it. I know when I moved, there was already problems with just home furnishings in themselves. So now when you have, and it's not necessarily tech, but if you're someone starting a new company or looking to expand an office, you're going to need more equipment, monitors, computers, and all that. It might be tough. It might be tough for you to be able to accomplish that. And in particular, the biggest thing with China is their chip output. And we see here that outside of this massive TurboTax ad, that their chip output is going to be shrinking as lockdowns are being hurt by the production. Chips here, they mean semiconductors. And what are semiconductors used in is what I'm going to be looking at right now. But they're huge. Semiconductors, pretty much anything that is used, like your phone, your computer, with a digital screen for sure. Cars now have them. As I mentioned, smart fridges, smart anything has them. Let's see, products that use them. There's a bunch of them. And we've already, all right, let's check out courses. We already had a semiconductor shortage, by the way. And I know one of the bigger products is for anyone that does design, animation, or machine learning. You need a graphics card, GPU. Those things have been ridiculously hard to find. So what do we use semiconductors in? Anything with LED, transistors, circuits, junction field. Let's see if there's some specific things here. TV, radar, transistor radio, all those things. So it's going to have a restraint, especially when I think they went to straight down. Like, it wasn't an easing into lockdown, it was straight up the most strict of lockdowns as well. So in terms of consumer, you're going to be seeing things that might be tough to obtain. You're going to be looking at things you might want to buy, especially going into the summer, getting your tax return. It's going to be tough to be able to purchase things you want, and you might be seeing elevated prices, which is already tough because we're already having inflation. But I don't think those are going to go away. I think this is definitely something that's tough on the consumer. And when I would say keep an eye on the companies that are making the products. You see what they're saying in their quarterly reports, their annual reports. They're most likely going to be talking about it. See what kind of press releases are said about them, to see if they're facing as difficult of a path as it might seem based on these lockdowns. But with the reliance that we have, when something like this happens to a country that we are reliant upon, it has a huge impact on producers and consumers. And it's a question of how are we going to respond? I mean, the easiest way is to say to make this in our own country, but we don't really have all the infrastructure there already. We haven't put the investment into it, so we're going to stay reliant. We're going to have to be facing the pain, and kind of just hoping that China goes out of lockdown and back into full productivity. So that's all for today. I hope some of this makes sense. Hope you all got something out of it. You can leave comments below, questions. I'll leave my Twitter mention there, so you can all follow me on Twitter and shoot me some messages if you have any questions. But that's pretty much summarizing what's going on, what it's going to be looking like for you with these lockdowns in China continuing. So hope you all enjoy and have a great one.